We've got a caller on the line. Let's go to that real quick, and then we'll take a break. Ben out of Bayou, George. How can we help you tonight, Ben?
Yes. What's the real advantage of having your coverage stacked on your insurance policy?
Ben, an excellent question.
Wow.
And so, Ben, you're talking about uninsured motorist coverage, and that's the only thing that you can stack on your own automobile policy. And Les, why is it advantageous to have stacked versus non-stacked?
Well, first off, I just want to, Ben, thank you. I think Ben probably watches the show because he knows that we preach on this show every single week. We're talking about automobile accidents, how important it is for you to have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy. And that's because in the state of Florida, unlike the 49 other states in the country, the state of Florida does not require drivers to carry liability coverage for injuries. And so if you're involved in a motor vehicle wreck in the state of Florida, somebody runs a red light, rear ends you in traffic, you get hurt, that person that hits you, there is no requirement under the law in Florida for them to have coverage to pay you for your medical expenses, your lost wages, and your pain and suffering. They're only required to cover you for your property damage, which is $10,000, which is
minimal now.
Minimal. And PIP coverage, which we refer to as no-fault insurance. And when they talk about Florida being a no-fault state, they're referring to that PIP coverage, which is a $10,000 medical benefit tied to your own policy to pay for medical bills. But back to Ben's question about uninsured motorist coverage. Uninsured motorist coverage is just that. It is coverage that you elect to buy, that if you're involved in an accident and somebody that hits you does not have insurance or does not have enough insurance, you can buy uninsured motorist coverage to compensate you for those injuries. They stand in the shoes of the person that hit you. Now, talking about stacking versus non-stacking. If you have stacked uninsured motorist coverage, what they do is they multiply your coverage limits times the number of vehicles that you have on your policy. So if you have 3 vehicles on your policy and you have a 100-300 policy of uninsured motorists, you end up having $300,000 of uninsured motorist coverage per person and $900,000 per occurrence. There's a per person limit, the most they'll pay to any one individual. And there's a per occurrence limit, which is the most they'll pay total. So if you have multiple people in the vehicle, each one of those vehicles can benefit from that as well. It can also stack on other policies that you have. And so motorcycle riders, for example, if you ride a motorcycle in this town and you have basic liability coverage and you don't have anything else, if you have uninsured motorist coverage that is stacked on an auto policy, you can actually take that coverage and stack it onto your motorcycle policy. So there are numerous benefits from stacking, and if you look at the premium comparison between stacked and non-stacked, it is minimal. I mean, we're talking tens of dollars maybe per month, difference between stacking and non-stacking. And so, I urge people, when you go and you apply for insurance, you're talking to your agent and you always ask the questions, how can I save some money? How can I do this? How can they do that? The first thing they're going to say is, oh, you don't need uninsured motorist coverage. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You need uninsured motorist coverage in this town, in this state. As long as we have a state that does not require people to cover you for their negligence, you need uninsured motorist coverage, and you should have it stacked. The cost is minimal, and so, protect yourself. And Ben, thank you for watching, and I hope everybody out there pulls out their policy and looks at it and says, how can I improve my situation if the unfortunate event happens?
Yeah. Ben, 1 in 4 vehicles does not carry the insurance to cover you. So in the event that you were hit by somebody else, 1 out of 4 on Florida's highways. That's the reason why we've been advocating in the state legislature now for nearly 30 years for the change, and we got it through the legislature last year. The governor vetoed it. Hopefully it'll come back up again the next legislative session, but we need to change that law. Ben, thank you so very much.